on to, okay, this was the other thing I wanted to say, and then I'll talk more about the episode and everything. I had to go down a rabbit hole to make sure that, like, I wasn't the only person being like, I'm team Kyle when it comes to Dorit versus Kyle. Like, I cannot be the only person who sees Dorit for who she is. And so I found this beautiful thread on Reddit that says, sorry, but the Dorit D writing is getting annoying. And so I took a bunch of the comments that I thought were really great. I'll read them and then we can like kiki about them, because I was like, okay, I'm not going crazy. Other people see it too. Okay. All right. So this person says, she's a very shallow, unlikable person, and all it took was her smoking on camera and getting separated for some of you to forget what she was like before. Dorit's put on this fake persona, and I don't feel like she's relatable because she refuses to be herself. I can't stand housewives who try too hard to flaunt their wealth and pretend to be better than everyone else. She makes everything about herself, and when she gets confronted after she F's up, she turns it around and becomes the victim. Not to mention her microaggressions. And to me, that is spot on. That is absolutely spot on with how I feel about Dorit. She has been a non-factor for 7 seasons because she was coasting. But just because she was a non-factor doesn't mean she was nice, doesn't mean she was, oh, I'm not taking it anymore. No, it just meant that she was hiding her meanness because she just was coasting. But she was a part of all of the mess. She was right there with Lisa Rinna with the whole Kathy Aspen situation. She was right there with the Faux Fox 5. She's a founding member of the Faux Fox 5 when they came to taking down Lisa Vanderpump with Lucy Apple Goosey, the most dumbest thing, Puppygate ever in the world. When all of them knew what Lisa was going through, she had lost her brother and then she lost her mother, and they all turned on her at Lisa's lowest to get her off the show because they were jealous as hell. Are we forgetting that Dorit was a part of that? I'm super confused. Like, are we forgetting this? Just because Dorit was coasting on Lisa Rinna and Erica Janes and Kyle Richards' coattails doesn't mean that she's actually a nice person. Because I've seen all these comments, Dorit was so nice. People are taking advantage of her niceness. Now she's speaking up for herself. No, Dorit wasn't nice. She wasn't kind. She was just coasting because she didn't want to talk about what was going on in her life. The gambling debts, the fraud suits, being that girl in the Bahamas who was about to whoop Dorit's butt because she and they chased her around the pool because Dorit and PK owed them money for Beverly Beach. So no, Dorit isn't nice. She's not kind. She's not finally having a voice. She was coasting because she didn't want to talk about everything that is now is coming to a head. Because now on the show, Dorit's like, my life sucks and I'm just like so scared. Everything's falling apart. It's not about the separation from PK. It's about the finances. I think they're scared as hell. Their house is going to be foreclosed on. I think they're scared as hell that the insurance companies, maybe the FBI, whoever the hell else, is going to start investigating these alleged robberies. That's why PK lost his damn mind when Garcelle brought it up. And everyone's like, Garcelle needs to move on. Why is she holding a grudge against Dorit? No, Dorit was the one holding a grudge because episode 1 at Sutton's party, Garcelle went up to hug Dorit and Dorit snubbed her. And then in the confessional, Dorit's still pissed and all in her feelings because Garcelle talked about the home robbery invasion being an alleged insurance scam. So does Dorit have to let it go? Is Dorit holding a grudge? Is she being a bully? Or is it only Garcelle who has to take the high road? Miss me with that. Miss me with it. But I was obsessed with this thread because I was like, yes, I have found my people and my candy canes. Okay. Then here's another one. And it says, that's not the point. They're talking about a different comment. Then let's go. It goes, obviously, Kyle is hiding why she's really mad. So they're talking about Kyle versus Dorit. I suspect the rumors about Mo and Dorit started to bother her, but she can't exactly say that without putting the father of her children on blast. Maybe it's because Dorit repeatedly defends Kathy to her, but Kyle can't say that without a feud with Kathy. But anyway, it doesn't matter why she's mad originally. That's not what we're discussing. The point is that Kyle sat down to fix it, a courtesy she doesn't normally give people other than Dorit. And Dorit flew out the handle and started screaming and making a scene. It was objectively unlike who we know Dorit to be. She's performing this season with her anger towards Kyle. I don't even feel like it's real. Exactly. I'm telling you, this Reddit thread was on and popping. And I was like, yes, I found my people, my candy canes, my people. Yes. Cause I was like, I want to make sure like I'm not the one, like, am I the problem? Am I going crazy? But I was like, no, okay, I'm right. Exactly. Exactly. And I was saying this from jump. Dorit is performing right now. Well, she's performing and she's not performing. She's performing this performative anger and she's had enough and she's fed up and F everybody and you're the see you next Tuesday and I'm going to give you the middle finger and smoke on camera. She's doing the absolute most because I think now more than ever she needs that Bravo check to keep her life and her life afloat. So she's doing everything she can. But on the flip side, the reason why I say she's not performing is because I don't think she ever really liked Kyle. So I think she's saying and getting all that vitriol and all that anger out onto Kyle, not because Kyle has done anything that actually warrants this level of vitriol. Because to be honest with you, Kyle is annoying. Bio Kyle, sure. But when it comes to Dorit, Kyle hasn't done anything to Dorit that matches the level of anger Dorit is pretending to have. I think what we're actually seeing is Dorit being honest about the level of disdain she has for Kyle. And those are two different things. I don't think she ever really liked Kyle. I think behind Kyle's back, she clowned the hell out of her. I don't think she respected her. I think she thought Kyle was a joke. Then I think her, Lisa Rinna, and Erica Jane got together after everything that happened, after Lisa Rinna got fired, after all the backlash. I think they all got together and was like, oh, Kyle's more manipulative than we thought, because they thought they were the ones really playing Kyle, but then Kyle still came out unscathed. Erica Jane has all the stuff going on with Tom Girardi, so she's a villain and evil. Lisa Rinna got fired, Dorit's a non-factor, and Kyle got to come back pretty much unscathed. And I think that they are pissed and resented her. And that's why now they're like, oh, she's more manipulative than we thought, because their scheme to take down Kyle via Kathy, or Kathy via Kyle, however you want to look at it, didn't work. And Kathy came out smelling like a rose. And so it didn't work. Because as we know, these women get together to take down each other. That was the entire reason why the Faux Fox 5 was born, to take down LVP. So once you take down LVP, then it's like, well, then who are we going to take down next? And I think the group was always Teddi, Kyle, Erica, Dorit, and Kyle and Lisa. But I think the actual core group was Erica, Dorit, and Lisa. They just used and played Teddi and Kyle for mouthpieces and for cover. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, yes, I agree 1,000% with this. It's giving every single thing in the world. And again, Dorit, I don't buy it. I don't buy the separation either. I think that they have either been separated and now they're saying it and the timeline isn't real, or they're pretending to be separated because of finances, lawsuits, storyline. I think it's more money than anything else. The whole alcoholism sobriety story makes no sense. I don't buy it for not nanosecond. Okay. Let's go on to the next one. It says, Dorit has played an enormous part in their money woes. I doubt she'll ever consider dialing back her spending in any way. I am not a poor PKing here. They both have been living way beyond their actual means for years. She is fully complicit in whatever he's been doing and fully aware. We all saw her get chased around that pool and never gets brought up on the show. I'm glad she's sticking it to Kyle, but is that even real? This is the least real of the franchises currently airing. Wait, hold the phone. It actually isn't. New York City is, but yeah, Dorit. Okay. So yeah, again, spot on 100%. And that's why I say I'm team PK when it's PK versus Dorit. And also to kind of harken back to my issue with Bose being like, "Oh, Sutton, you're weaponizing her situation against Dorit." I forget how this saying goes, the exact phrasing of it, but it is so good. It's like the one of like the most dangerous people are people who play victims in scenarios of their own making. Something like that. Basically, it means when somebody creates a negative situation and then they play victim in the negative situation that they created themselves. And that is what Dorit is doing. Dorit, you know, allegedly, I'm not trying to get sued because I know they need some money, but they ain't getting my money. Allegedly, not only do I think you know about your husband's money situations, I think two things. One, I think you were in on some of the schemes and scams and frauds. Not the ones we allegedly know about. You know, our opinions are that they're shady, which would be like all of the robberies you've had. Like you've been robbed at least 3 or 4 times that we know of. Wasn't we know of the home invasion, there was another robbery they talked about, and then when Dorit had she said she was walking around doing Christmas shopping and she randomly had $10,000 in cash in her purse that magically disappeared. Girl, what? Who walks around with 10K in cash? I don't even think I have a $10 bill. Everything is plastic or digital. Put it on my card. I'll Venmo you. Who's walking around with 10K in cash? Dorit, stop lying, in my opinion. So you've had multiple, insurance scams, thefts, robberies that are very super questionable. Okay. And if those are the ones that we know about, not to mention the lawsuits of certain banks in London, allegedly defrauding their rich friends. Basically, what they would do is they would get these like multi-million dollar loans from banks, multi-million dollar loans from like rich friends they knew. Then they would file bankruptcy to try to get out of having to legally repay the people back. But they would still have the money. They would do what they want, but they would say, no, we're bankrupt, so we don't have to pay you back. They were doing some type of scheme like that. They tried to get out of his gambling debts that way, but I think the casinos fought back. And so that's when they did the whole home invasion thing to pay back millions of dollars of the casino debts because they weren't able to clear it with the bankruptcy. All alleged, but Google it. Not making it up. Google it, but alleged, okay? If those are the things that we know about, and you've been with this man for over a decade, how many schemes and scams do we not know about? You know who your husband is, and we know who you are. PK said, and again, you always have to listen to what people say because people always tell on themselves. People said we were like Bonnie and Clyde. Two criminals? Two criminals. Okay? You were in my opinion, you were in on the schemes and the scams, and now you want to play victim because it's all catching up to you. And that's what I think you're so stressed about. It's not about PK drinking. It's about all the schemes and the scams. I think are catching up to you. I think the bank accounts are in negative in the red. Home is allegedly being foreclosed on. I just think that it's all catching up to you. And I think that's what you're so stressed about. I don't think the reason why you're saying everything is falling apart and, all of this is because PK likes to have a martini. Like, you're not fooling anybody. And have we ever even seen PK drunk on the show? No. We've seen him drink and have fun, but we've never seen PK out of pocket on the show. So I'm confused. But that's just me asking questions. That's just me asking questions, okay? I'm confused. I'm asking questions. So you can't play victim in a scenario that you created and then be mad at people who question that scenario or be mad at people who don't placate you. So that again is why Bose, Sutton, Kyle, whoever you want to talk about, is not weaponizing anything against Dorit. All Sutton did was hold a mirror. That's holding somebody accountable, being like, listen, you're not mad at me. You're mad at the situation you're in. You're mad at the situation you're in. You're mad because the schemes and the scams have caught up to you. So stop yelling at me. Okay? So I agree with that. And again, I agree with that. I don't know the exact quote, but I agree with that quote so much because people will create these piss poor situations, play victim to try to manipulate you and gaslight you. And to me, I unsubscribe to that. I'm like, you created this situation. You're not going to play victim. You're not going to manipulate me. See ya. See ya. Not going to happen. Okay. Okay. Now let's talk about this one. This one says, I've always thought PK was pretty ick, but I'm glad to see him getting on a sober journey. It is wild that Dorit almost seems to see that as a part of the problem with their relationship. If him being around you means he drinks, then yeah, there's probably some real unhealthy stuff there. Kyle's storyline is wild because by what we're seeing and hearing, Mo isn't even the a-hole in the situation. So with both Dorit and Kyle, it is a sort of a situation where I'm somehow having some sympathies for their husbands when I've always kind of thought those guys were jerks. Okay. Again, agreed. I just told you I'm Team PK. And when it comes to Mo and Kyle, this is the problem I have with Kyle. Like Queen Sutton said, where's Kyle? She's in denial. She's in denial. Okay? Kyle keeps saying, oh, everyone's projecting their stuff onto me. My relationship isn't like this, like that. My marriage isn't like that. Mo isn't like that. When Sutton came to her and said, you need to file, this is crazy what he's doing. When Camille said to her, Mo is having maybe a midlife crisis, he has his freedom and he's working on his body and, all the young girls. And Kyle still has this sort of holier than thou, super like self-righteous. No, we're different. No, sweetheart, you're not different. You're just like them, but worse because you're still in denial where these women have come to accept the situation for what it is. You think Mauricio is above hiding money from you? What? He didn't even want to pay your daughter how much she deserved at her job. Don't believe me? Go back, watch season 1 of Buying Beverly Hills. Farrah was about to quit the agency because she wasn't making the correct amount of what's the word I'm looking for? Not contingency fee, but compensation fee, rate, whatever it's called, her portion of it. She wasn't making the correct amount of compensation for what she was doing at the agency. So if Mauricio is not willing to pay your daughter, his stepdaughter that he's known since she was a child, the correct amount of money, you think he's going to do you right when he's ready to leave you? Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Miss me with that. And that's my issue with Kyle this season. The most annoying thing about Kyle is she's like Kyling. She's being Kyle. Self-righteous, holier than thou, thinking she's better and different. You're not better and you're not different. You think, she's like, oh, Camille, it could be so worse because Kelsey was cheating on Camille. You don't think Mo has been cheating on you for decades, sweetheart? You said it yourself last season. Oh, for once, it's not you in the tabloids being the cheater because you're pretending out here to be with Morgan Wade, which is a joke. Free Morgan. Hashtag free Morgan Wade. Poor thing. She's an indentured servant at this point. And again, alleged. But there have been conversations about Mauricio out here dipping it and doing it with trans sex workers. And trust and believe that I mean zero disrespect to trans sex workers. Zero disrespect. The shade is to Mauricio, not to them. Because over here, you know how I feel. We're all in this together. So I don't mean that derogatory towards the trans sex worker by any means. I want to make that crystal clear. So, and again, I'm not making this up. You can Google it. It's on the Googler. All you have to do is Google it. It was in like Esquire or Star Magazine a long time ago. It's why Brandy and Kyle were beefing. Remember, this was like season 2 or 3 or something like that, where Brandy said that Lisa, maybe season 4, I don't know, whatever season it was, Brandy said Lisa told her to bring the cheating tabloids on vacation with them. And Lisa's like, I never told you that. And then Kyle got really mad. This was all of that. That is the situation that they were talking about, but they weren't allowed to say it because, Kyle's a de facto producer. They weren't allowed to say what the exact issue was. The only thing Lisa Vanderpump says, oh, like this is the young, when Mauricio was with Portia and in the kitchen, and she was like, oh, so this is the young lady everyone's saying Mauricio's with, and then Kyle lost her mind. Yeah. So for you, Kyle, to be like, and then Mauricio's out here, he literally has a girlfriend. Her name's Nikita. She's like in her early 30s. He's out here doing the absolute most. He took down your photo, put up the photo of his Dancing with the Stars partner. Like, he's out here doing the absolute most. He has a bachelor pad that he bought furniture for. That's a pretty permanent statement. But you want to sit here in your confessionals like, we're different. We're special. Oh my God. We're not Sutton. I'm not Sutton. I'm not Camille. Mo would never. Girl, not Mo would never. Mo is and Mo has been. That's why none of this is like, that's why the thing is, I don't think people feel bad that you're separating. I think people feel bad that you're this delusional about it. Now, don't get me wrong. I still stand by the fact I think they'll get back together. Not because I think that their marriage is different or special, but I think because they don't have a prenup. I think he's going to start looking hella corny real quick because being that 50-year-old dude in the club isn't that cute anymore. I think once that new wears off, maybe it won't. Maybe he'll be that 60-year-old guy in the club still trying to bang the young girls. Maybe that's him. Cringe. Who knows? But I think if they get back together, it's not because they're special or different. I think it'll be because it's the most financially convenient thing to do. That's what I think it will happen. Or maybe they'll just continue to live apart forever, do what they want, never get legally married, and look over their finances that way. That could happen too. So there's that. And then I wanted to talk about Sierra Content. She said, oh, gorgeous girl. She says, can we talk about what Sutton said? You're mad about the situation you're in. Wasn't below the belt. Who was called out of their name? That was a definitive statement. Exactly. 100%. I agree with that 100%. I don't think that Sutton saying, you're not mad at me, you're mad at your life, that was spot on. And to me, that should have been the meme. That should have been the moment. That should have been what we were all talking about. I don't think there's anything cute or queen or kiki about a woman calling another woman the C word multiple times with her whole chest. It's not cute. It's not funny. I don't care how you feel about Camille Grammer. I personally really like Camille. I actually think she's cool and she's funny, and I would prefer her back on the show. I really like her. I do. Full transparency, I have met her before. I don't think she would remember me the way she didn't remember Erica's name. So I'm not trying to lie and say like we're best buddies. We're not. But I did meet her once, and she was completely super nice, super down to earth, and a really super sweet person. So however you feel about Camille or not, what Dorit said was disgusting. And that is weaponizing, Bose. That is weaponizing your trauma against somebody. I'm going through a hard time, therefore I can rip everybody else apart and nobody can say anything to me. No, the world doesn't work that way. You have your stuff going on, I got my stuff going on. You come with me respect, I come with you respect. You come to me crazy, that's it. Bye-bye, boo-boo. Get it together. Get it together. Okay, let's talk about the next one. So then this person said, yeah, the people who deluded themselves into disagreeing with Kyle when she pointed out Dorit was acting weird and not like herself. Dorit is clearly only coming after Kyle because she wants a storyline. Kyle has already apologized and tried to fix it multiple times. The reunion text also didn't read as manipulative to me. That was just Erica and Dorit cooking up some last-minute drama. Exactly. I was saying that from day one. Again, I fell down this rabbit hole on Reddit and I was like, yes, I found the voice of reason. Because reading the comment section this season, I'm like, I don't even want to watch this show anymore. If this is the collective, I'm I'm never going to ride Dorit's D. I'm never gonna be like a Dorit fan. Like it's just not gonna happen. Like I'm so confused how all of these people are now Dorit's amazing, Dorit's giving. She's like, no, she's not. Like how quickly we forget. And to be honest with you, I get Vile Kyle, goodbye Kyle, but at least Kyle gave way more than what Dorit has ever given. Kyle will stir the pot. She'll want people to own it. She'll cry. She'll be all weird. She'll do the most. Of course, we're like, Kyle, we want you to talk more about yourself. We want to be more. Of course, we get it. But if you're being honest, over the course of the entire Real Housewives Beverly Hills series, Kyle has given way more than Dorit ever has. Dorit is just now tapping back in after being on the bench for the last 7 years. When she first came on the scene, she was more of who she was, with the whole panty gate with Erica, going at it with like Lisa and stuff, and all of that. She gave it more, and that was more of a kiki, more of a thing, had more of her personality in it. And then she tapped out and was basically benching it for the last 7 years. And now she's tapping back in, being hella disrespectful and very verbally violent, to be honest with you, the way she's been talking to people. F you and da 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 da. You need to F and listen and da da da. And you're a cunt. And like, girl, this is your queen? This is who y'all are worshiping? This is who y'all are standing? What? But let Garcelle even breathe in Dorit's direction. Oh, Garcelle's a bully. Oh, Garcelle needs to go. Oh, she's holding a grudge. Oh, she can't play the race card. What? Is that a joke? Like, I'm like that. I was like, I'm in La La Land right now. Like, what is going on? So I will stand 10 toes down on business all day, every day. Queen Garcelle, Queen Sutton, Team Kyle when it comes to Dorit, and Bozema is she's a flop for me. Stop trying to make Bozema happen. It's not going to happen. Stop trying to make Fetch happen. They're pushing her down our throats, and she's not it. And I think people in the entertainment industry, I think people on the cast, I think other bloggers, they're scared to say anything about her because they think she's so powerful in the entertainment industry. She's a CMO. She's a chief marketing officer. She's talking about like decks and PowerPoints. Not to take that away from her, because I want to be very clear. I'm not taking anything away from her. She's extremely accomplished, extremely intelligent, super professional in the corporate world. That doesn't mean I have to vibe with her as a housewife on Bravo, because I don't. You see what I'm saying? So there's that. All right. And I think, all right. So then, okay, let me read this thread, which was just amazing. Okay. It says, thank you. She yells at Kyle, talking about Dorit. Thank you. She yells at Kyle and smokes a cigarette, and suddenly everyone forgets she was an ignorant potted plant season after season. Then they go, right, now people are more interested in a Kyle takedown rather than Dorit being a POS. Thank you. Didn't I say this weeks ago? From episode 1, I said this is what's going to happen. The collective social media people, they are more interested in getting their pound of flesh from Kyle, a Kyle takedown, than they are in actually looking at it objectively, Dorit versus Kyle. But the women are going to be on Kyle's side because they're looking at it through subjective lens, because they're the ones actually going through it. So subjectively, they're the ones in it. They're going to side with Kyle, because in this situation, Kyle's right. Kyle's right in this situation. I hate to say it. I don't say that a lot. But in this situation, Kyle's right. Dorit is wrong. She's doing the absolute most because she needs that check. She's doing the absolute most because now she can tell Kyle to her face how she's always felt about her. She's never liked Kyle, let's be honest. She used Kyle. But now she doesn't have to pretend anymore. Let's be real, okay? Okay, the other person says, agree, and I get it. She's finally bringing something so it feels new and fresh, but I don't think she can do it for long. And then the other person says, nah, I'm a true Dorit downer. As soon as I saw the cigarette, I said staged. Everything Dorito and PK do seems staged. That's why Garcelle said what she said, and PK's flippant attitude makes me think she was right. And another clue of stage, Dorit, normally so long winded, was very precise with her Kyle attack. So practice, methinks. Exactly. And this is what I said before. I think a lot of what Dorit is saying against Kyle, again, I stand 10 toes down on this. My gut is coming from Lisa Rinna. 100%. And isn't it funny? I talked about this in another video. I had said the fight between Kyle and Dorit is so Lisa Rinna coded. You were manipulating me. You weren't a friend for me. You ice me out. You blab up. You punish. You do this. I was like, this is so Lisa Rinna coded. It's not even funny. And then remember the whole thing that came out where it was like allegedly Dorit was caught coming from Mo's condo, which I actually don't think is true because they were using the image of her smoking in the car, but that was from the scene at the show. I actually don't think that was true. But the moment that story came out or those allegations came out, all of a sudden we saw Kyle and Morgan grabbing lunch with who? Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlin. Then the next day, all of a sudden, we have Dorit coming out with an interview. I think it was in British Vogue or British Elle or British Harper's Bazaar, something like that, where she's like, I wasn't sure if I was going to come back to the show, but Lisa Rinna was the one who convinced me. She really helped me. You think it's a coincidence? And I was saying this from jump. I was like, Lisa is in Kyle's ear, telling Kyle every single thing Dorit has ever said about Kyle behind her back. Then Lisa is in Dorit's ear, talking about Kyle like a damn dog because Lisa doesn't like Kyle either. She never liked Kyle. She hates all of the Richards sisters, let's be honest. I think she's very bitter and very mad because she didn't take down Kyle and Kathy the way she thought she was with Aspen, and it blew up in her face and she ended up getting fired for it. She's pretending to be Kyle's friend, but she's really stabbing her in her back. And I think, remember when Lisa went on her little tirade, being like, well, Kathy said that Dorit was useless or whatever she said, useless or pointless or something like that. I don't think Kathy said that because, to be honest with you, I don't think Kathy cares enough about Dorit to even mention her name. I don't think Kathy Hilton could be bothered to talk about Dorit. I think that Lisa Rinna was saying what she thought about Dorit. I think, and I actually agree with Lisa Rinna on this, I think Lisa Rinna thought that Dorit, like I said, was pretty much useless and was just skating and coding along. And Lisa thought she was doing all the work and Dorit just kind of, got cover. And I agree. And that's why now everyone's like, oh my God, Dorit. When they forget, Dorit was right there with all of them. Dorit was a part of the whole, in my opinion, I think Dorit knew about the attack on Garcelle's son, the whole bot situation. Dorit was right there with Diana Jenkins and Lisa Rinna and Erica Jane when Garcelle's son was being attacked online. Dorit was right there with them, laughing and kikiing when Erica was cussing out Garcelle's son. And this is the difference between Dorit, Kyle, and Erica and the Garcelle situation. We have seen Kyle and Erica actually take accountability and have contrition about what happened. From a genuine standpoint, they have said publicly and privately, we're sorry, what we did was wrong. And when Garcelle came to the group and was like, I'm still feeling some type of way. I don't feel safe having my children in this group, given what happened. Erica and Kyle were quiet. They were thoughtful, and they gave space for Garcelle to talk about how she was feeling. Ding Dong Dorit over here, this, Bose, if you're watching, is actually an example of weaponizing somebody's pain against them. Okay, Bose. Dorit then says to Garcelle, who is saying, I'm scared, I don't feel safe with my children in this group because my child was literally bullied, okay, because of this group and perhaps by some people actually in this group. either directly or indirectly, correct? Dorit then says, I'm hurt that you would even dare say that you're hurt. What do you mean you wouldn't feel comfortable having your children around me? How dare you? I'm now hurt because of that. That is gaslighting. That is weaponizing somebody's vulnerability against themselves. Saying to somebody, you're not mad at me, you're mad at your life, and I'm not going to allow you to talk to me any type of way is not weaponizing a damn thing. It's holding people accountable. It's having boundaries and self-respect. Bows, ding dong Dorit. Okay? Ugh. Had to get that off my chest. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay, I think those were all of the screenshots I had. So let's go back and talk a little bit more about